Hello! So, I haven't done an update on the Goldfish tank in about 2 months, which is when I brought him home. And I know that I said I would, so I think I'm just gonna do it today. I've changed quite a lot in this tank, as you can see. I added some decorations. I tried to keep the decorations, I tried to make sure that they had space for him to swim through, but I didn't want them to be too small because he has a big body, and I don't want him to get stuck. So this is really the only decoration I could find that was big enough that I actually liked and wasn't too expensive. But I think he likes it. He swims through quite a lot. I'll find him kind of resting in there. He does like to nap a lot, and his favorite place to nap is kind of right back in the corner, right there, right next to the plants. I think that's just because even when my lights are on in my room and I've turned the tank lights off, that's the darkest spot. Thor's doing well. I still feel bad that I can't keep him in a bigger tank than this, but, anything is better than what he was in before, and he's doing well. Like, he acts healthy, he eats. Every time he sees me, he comes up to the top looking for food. Everything in the tank is good. I've tested the water. Ammonia is always at 0. I clean it regularly. I do about a 25% change every week. His ammonia doesn't seem to get very high to begin with. I don't feed him very often. I feed him 3 times a week, and that's about the same as I do for all of my fish. Just because I know some people might think that that's not enough, but it's what I've noticed works. And he does well with only 3 times a week, and it keeps the water from getting dirty. One thing I've noticed that I'm not very excited about is the presence of some algae on the back. The green algae on the rocks. The green algae doesn't actually bother me too much as long as it doesn't get too out of control. I don't like seeing the algae spots. And around the bubbler, there's a lot of algae. And I'm not entirely sure how I'll clean that just yet. I suppose I could get a test tube cleaner. I'm not sure where to buy one of those. I'll have to look on Amazon or something. I've added some plants. Most of these are plastic plants, but I tried to keep them as soft as I could, just because I still don't want to tear his fins. His fins are gorgeous. He's unfurled all of his fins. They were kind of clamped when he was in the other tank, like a little 1-gallon betta tank. They were clamped. He didn't have room to spread out, so he's gotten much more beautiful in my opinion. His temperature is always about 70. I've turned on the heater in the room, so it's going to get a little bit higher probably, but I don't keep the heater on very high in my room just because I also don't like it to be very warm. But he's doing well. He's very active. I got him a Marimo ball, which when I put it in the tank, he actually started pushing it around and trying to eat it, which was kind of funny. He leaves it alone now. I have to turn it later, though, because it's been on that side for a while. I want to make sure all the sides get some light. I've added the filter. I don't know if this was in the video, the last video I recorded, but I did get him a filter just because it would help to cycle the tank and keep it clean. Cycling, really, I've never, I know that cycling can be hard to do. I've never had any real issues with it. It always seems to go very quickly for me. The ammonia and nitrates and everything, they even out very, very quickly. I also use some water, and I used some water, and I took some of the rocks. I still do have rocks along with the sand substrate, and I took some of those rocks from my betta tank and I put them in, so I suppose adding some already established bacteria helped. So I added the filter just to help keep things cleaner because I don't want to have to change the water every single day. It's stressful for him, and I just don't have the time for that. So this is the AquaClear filter. These are my favorite kinds of filters. I love these. I was going to get the 20, but they didn't have the 20 more. They're changing the brand. They're merging with Fluval, I think, and so it was difficult to find what I wanted, actually. I found all of the, parts, like the carbon and everything, and the sponge and the filter media, but I couldn't actually find the actual filter itself. I'm going to actually open this up a little bit. I couldn't actually find the, media the filter I wanted. Just because they were, in the process of switching things over and a lot of things were out of stock. So they had this Aqua Clear 30 filter at PetSmart. It was on sale for maybe $15, and last time I'd seen it there had been a little over 20. So that was a good price. So I did bring that home. I set it up, and it's all running well. It's probably good actually that I got one for a 30-gallon because it's a little bit more powerful. It'll oxygenate the water a little bit more and do a better job of keeping it clean. Because, you know, I have a Goldfish in a tank that's only 10 gallons. He's very cute. He's much more, you know, out there than Loki is. Loki is, you know, he's a beta. He likes to hide a lot. And Thor is, he's very, very, cute. He likes to swim around and mostly just look for food. I need to actually get some more of this food later. I was debating changing the food. I'm not a huge fan of flakes in the first place just because they're kind of messy to me. But you know, this is what all of my boyfriend's cousins' fish ate at their house. And, you know, he's been eating this since they brought him home. And he really does like it. And it is rated, you know, it's got good ratings on PetSmart. And a lot of people say their fish like it. So I'll stay with it. There's no reason to change it right now. One thing I did do that I wasn't planning on doing was getting some live plants. I wasn't planning to do it because I know goldfish eat the plants, and I wasn't against the idea of like maybe once in a while bringing home like a sprig or something of some kind of vegetable, but I didn't want to like deal with the trouble of having to keep a live plant if they're just going to eat them. I've also got gravel, which isn't the best for keeping live plants. I've never had luck with that. But I brought some Anacharis home because I've had an algae outbreak, and I've been doing everything in the betta tank to try to decrease that, just short of putting chemicals in it because I have snails in the tank. Even if I could quarantine my mystery snails, I have Malaysian trumpet snails, I think they're called, and pond snails. They're just like snails that have hitchhiked in on plants that I haven't, you know, that maybe I've been less than thorough with washing. And I really do like those snails. They're not, you know, they don't cause any problems, and I would like to keep them. So I decided not to use a chemical because I don't want to kill them. But I have lowered the amount of time that the light is on. I've decreased the feedings. I clean the water every other day. I do a small, like a very tiny 10% change. And the algae was controlled a little bit, but not very much, so I'm trying some Anacharis because I know Anacharis is like algae's worst enemy. I'm also just trying to gradually switch over to all live plants because the fake plants, they're like the fake Java fern ones with the large, wide leaves, and they would collect a lot of algae on them, so much that I have to clean it almost every single day, and it would block out the light, and I didn't like the look of them, honestly. I really prefer the look of live plants. So I bought some algae. Not algae, what am I saying? I bought some Anacharis plants. I planted the majority of them in the betta tank, and I had a couple left over. And I just planted them here, you know, live plants can't hurt. He's already nibbled on a few of them, but he hasn't really done anything. He's left them alone for the most part. Everything else is really pretty good. You know, he's got the silk plants here, and he's got his little napping area there. Goldfish do actually sleep. I think all fish do, honestly. And so I like to keep, like, that little corner available for him because that's his favorite spot, it seems like. So anyway, so that was just a quick update on what's going on with this tank. I'm not planning on any other big changes anytime soon. But if I do change anything, I'll let you know. So I'm going to go back because I'm going to stop this video because I actually have to go to class. So I will talk to you later. Bye!